Hey, it's Mary Ellen. Welcome to my channel and happy National Handwriting Day. I have been putting off this video for so many years and you guys keep requesting it and I keep saying I'm going to wait until I feel a little bit more of an expert at lettering to do it. But I decided that, you know what? Now is the time. I have been brush lettering for years. I feel pretty confident in it. So this is a beginner guide on brush lettering. When I started brush lettering, it was super intimidating. I had a really hard time with it. At the end of the video, I'll show you my progression because my beginning stuff was pretty bad. I used to do the faux calligraphy when I first started because I didn't feel confident enough to use a brush pen, so I would kind of fake it with a regular pen. Once I started using brush pens, it was a struggle. I say that so that you know it takes a lot of time to practice this to get good at it. It's not going to happen overnight. First, let's talk pens. I know a lot of you are wondering what the best pen is for a beginner. I get that question a lot. I would recommend starting with a small pen. This one is a Pilot Fude Mukase pen. I got this on Amazon. All the pens are linked in the description box. The tip is really small and it's a harder tip, and I feel like that's good for learning because you have more control over the pen. So I'd recommend this one to start, or the one that people always recommend too is the Tombow Fudenosuke. And I think both of these are excellent for beginner brush lettering. Both of them are really great for learning lettering. Another one I really like is the Pentel Touch brush pen. I don't know if this is called the sign brush pen. I feel like that might be, but they might be two different pens. Either way, this is the Pentel Touch. You can see that is the size of the tip. Again, this is a small tip pen. And then once you get the basics down, I would definitely recommend the Tombow dual brush pens because I feel like this is where I made the most progress in learning brush lettering. But before I graduated to this, I had to work with these first. So obviously, if you're doing brush lettering in your planner, I know a lot of you who watch me use planners, you're going to want something smaller like this. But I've used these in my planners quite a bit too for like lettering things in the sidebar or big words across the page, stuff like that. So this is definitely a bigger tip. Not only is it a bigger tip, but it's also a lot more flexible. That's why this is harder to learn on. I feel like you need something a little more controlled in the beginning. When I started brush lettering, I think the biggest problem I had was learning how to hold the pen. So that's what we're going to talk about first. You're going to want the pen to be at a 45-degree angle to the page. You're definitely not going to be up here like this, like a regular pen. You have to angle it like this. Here's another view that might help you see it more clearly. Another thing you need to learn about holding the pen is holding it sort of loosely. You don't want your fingers doing all of the work. When you're doing brush lettering, most of the work is coming from your arm and your wrist. Your hand is kind of just there. You know, I mean, you're using it, of course, but I feel like a lot of the main work comes from here. The third thing you need to know about holding the pen is you want to hold it perpendicular to your page. You don't want to do this when you're brush lettering. You're not going to be able to get the thicks and thins and you're going to have more of a problem. So you're definitely going to want to hold it more at this angle and then down like this. Brush lettering is really basic at its core. All it is thin upstrokes and thick downstrokes. And I know it's easier said than done, right? But that's basically what it is. When you make a downstroke, you're putting more pressure on, and we'll talk about that in a second, and it looks thicker. So you get that kind of look. So the first thing you're going to do before you attempt to write words, and this is really important, you're going to practice your strokes. So if you really want to learn, I think at first you should spend about 10 minutes a day just working on these strokes. The first thing you're going to do is a downstroke. And you're putting a lot of pressure on as you go down, okay? And then your upstroke, you're definitely a lot lighter on the upstroke. That was shaky, but you know what I mean. So you're just gonna keep doing that and doing that and doing that until you get used to how the pressure feels. Down is heavier, and when you go up, you're gonna ease off on the pressure on the pen. So like down, you're like pushing. Up, you're easing off. I don't have any lines on this and I'm going wonky, but you know what I mean. The next strokes you're going to be practicing are curves. And this is where I got tripped up for a really long time when I started out. But you're going to practice these up and then back down. up and down. And then you're going to practice down and up, down, up. I know this is boring, you guys. I know you want to make letters. I know you want to make words, but the only way you're going to be able to perfect your technique is to learn the strokes first. I promise you this is what works, even though it's super boring and you don't want to do it. Other ones you're going to practice at first are the O shape. This one is very difficult when you're starting out. Push down hard and then ease up. You're starting about here, you're doing it pretty easy, and then you're going to transition into a heavier hand. And it is a struggle at first. I'm going to show it to you also with these smaller pens. This one I would show you, but it's drying out, so it's not going to work well. Let me show you this Pentel one. Okay, so you're going to do the downstrokes. Wait, that didn't work out well. Maybe this is drying out too. Downstrokes, I think it is. Wait. Okay, I got a different color because I felt like that was drying out too. And I got these a while ago. So it's not like these pens are drying out all the time. I got these two in like 2019. And I used them quite a bit. This was a set I bought in Japan when I was over there a few years ago. And honestly, I think they were old by the time I bought them because they never quite worked really well. But I have had other pens like this before from Amazon. And they were fine. So I maybe just got a bad batch. But anyway, so you're going to practice these strokes daily if you can until you feel comfortable. So those, and then you're going to do this one too. And this one. The reason we're doing curves like this is that curves, at least to me, they were the hardest part. So your transition going from here around the curve and then, wait a minute, down like this around the curve is really tricky, okay? It is not easy. Forgive me, I'm not used to using a small pen, so I made these kind of big, but you'd probably want to write smaller with this one. Let me show you with this one what I mean, because I can get really big thicks and thins with this. So like that. When you're going around that curve, that is the transition point that is really difficult when you're starting brush lettering. And I wish I had like really good advice for you about that, but I think what you need to do is just keep doing it. Okay, so I'm going to do it again and I'll tell you when I'm easing up on the pen. So I'm pressing really hard down and now I'm starting to ease up, ease, 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 ease. So you're going to start to ease up before you get to the very bottom and it'll make that easier transition for you. I don't know if that explained it well. I just know that that was really hard for me when I started out. O's were really hard at first. So at first I practiced every single day with the strokes and I still couldn't get the O's. I still couldn't get the bottom of the U part right. It would catch, it would make a little, let me see if I can do it. This one sometimes would catch for me. Let me see if I can make it catch. I don't know if I can. All right, I can't do it because my brain won't do that anymore, but it would make a little notch at the top of the O. And I had a hard time getting past that. So I got frustrated. I stopped practicing in that way for a while. And then what I noticed is that I still used my brush pens anyway, because I bought them. I wanted to use them, especially the Tombos. And I noticed one day, I remember sitting there and I looked at my lettering and I thought, wait, I'm not doing that anymore. So it was just a matter of practicing over and over again, doing the different letters. But that's after I did the strokes because I already knew like how to do it. I just had a problem actually getting it right. Once you have the strokes down, once you're pretty good at the curves especially, then I want you to practice letters. Not words yet, but just letters. So choose a letter, practice it over and over again. And I will tell you that over time, you will develop your own style of lettering. The way I do brush lettering is not the way other people do it. I used to try to do bounce lettering, and I do that once in a while, but honestly, I don't really like bounce lettering that much. I'm more of like a linear person. I like things lined up nicely, and bounce lettering just doesn't do it, but it does have its place in different situations. I'm not going to go over that today, but I practice A's over and over again until I found the type of A that I wanted to do. And I know you're thinking an A is an A, but an A is not just an A. Like, there's so many varieties of A. But I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until I felt comfortable with it. And then I went to B. And I practiced that over and over until I found a style that I liked. But also working on that curve was really difficult. The C's were also hard because at the top we had the curve. Out of everything, that is where I got stuck the most. So practice your letters, get familiar with your letters. Once you're pretty familiar with your letters and the way you make each letter, then I want you to try to make words. You just don't want to rush it because you'll get frustrated and you'll stop. So let's write the word Bumble because that's my channel name and my dog's name in case you're new here. B's I've always had an issue with, still kind of do. Anyway, one thing you want to note is I'm lifting up my pen off the paper. I'm not keeping it down. I take my pen off a lot, including during the letters. The other thing you're going to want to know about brush lettering is you need to go slowly. It's not handwriting, it's drawing. So you're drawing the letters, you're not writing the letters. So you're going to need to go really slowly. Those videos that you see of me lettering, most of the time they're sped up. Once in a while I'll post one that's not, but like most of the time they are sped up because I letter slowly. You will get faster over the years, but it's important to take your time in order to make the letters look right. What else can I letter? Well, how about lettering? There are common mistakes that people make. The first one is not going slow enough. Like I said, those probably should connect. Sometimes I like to make my letters without connecting. This is a personal style, so the letters you're seeing me make are not necessarily the letters that most people who letter make. I am just doing it the way I like to do it. I'm also going to show you some printing too. Yeah, sometimes I don't connect them. Sometimes I connect some of them and not other ones. But this is my style, and you will develop your own style of lettering as you go along. So did you see how slowly I wrote? That is how slow you need to go, especially even slower in the beginning maybe. So yeah, the first mistake is writing too fast. The second mistake is pressing too hard, especially with your fingers. Like, you don't have to hold on to the pen for dear life. You just have to loosely hold it. And you don't want to press down really hard, especially, of course, when you're going on the upstroke, you want to ease up. The other mistake people make is the angle of the pen, like I said. And then one mistake I want to mention is comparing yourself to other people, because in a second, I'm going to show you my old hand lettering. And I would compare myself to other people, not a lot, but I would see people online and I would think, why can't I do this? It really is just a matter of time before you will get good at it. It's practice, that's all. I'm going to show you how I use these for printing too. So the printing brush lettering is like the same kind of idea. It's the whole downstrokes are heavy, upstrokes are lighter. It's the same concept, you're just printing instead of like writing in cursive. And I use this technique a lot because I like the look of printing usually better than I like the look of calligraphy. So same concept, just looks different, right? Let me get my old planner from 2018 or 2019. Maybe I started in 2019. And I'll show you my beginning brush lettering attempts. Hang on. So I was wrong, you guys. I didn't start really practicing brush lettering until 2021. I thought it was way before that. So it's, taken me about, I think it took about a year. I would say it took about a year for me to get good at it without noticing that I was getting better at it. It's just because I kept doing it over and over again. I would write cards to my family, or I would make like a lettering reel, or even like practicing when I was writing regular mail, anything. I would practice all the time without really thinking it was practicing. I was just having fun with it. So this is when I was doing the faux calligraphy. So this was 2020. Probably what I did here is write this in, like when you're doing faux calligraphy, you're sort of doing this. So you're doing like a G, and then you're going in and you're filling it in like to make it look like you did the calligraphy, but you're really not doing it. And I mean, I use this technique sometimes when I don't feel like getting out my brush pens, once in a while in my planner. But that's, I think, what I did here. But in 2021, I started getting more serious about it. And this is the first month that I was really attempting to actually do brush lettering. I'm going to zoom in on some of these letters. You can see it's very choppy. Do you see what I mean? It's definitely much choppier than now. Like it's more, now I write more smoothly, and back then it was like, it felt wrong, And I don't know if I practiced a lot in my planner that year or not. This is still like the faux calligraphy. Let me see if I can find any other examples. I think I wasn't doing it in my planner that much. I still don't do a lot of brush lettering in my planner. I was attempting some here. I can see that. It's not that bad, but it's definitely like rudimentary, it's like a novice for sure. But anyway, you can see the difference. It's much more smooth now. It's easier. I don't have to think about it all the time. So I just feel like it's gotten so much better without trying too hard. So I hope that I explained things well and that this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And again, I will link what I think are the best brush lettering pens for beginners in the description box. Oh my gosh, gotta go. It's because Wallace was trying to get on the desk. Here's my cat. and Bumble does not like it when Wallace comes up here. This is such a pro lettering tutorial, isn't it? Anyway, happy National Lettering Day again. I hope this was helpful, and let me know in the comments if you're a beginner or if you've been brush lettering for a while. That's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a great day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.